and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, of course, I'm your favorite random man, Future King of YouTube, Terrence within this here building, of course. Thank you guys for taking time your busy schedule to watch your favorite random man. So, this may be a bit long. I had to redo. The funny thing is, I'm going to say this right quick. I did this recording. I did it Friday, and I did it Friday last night, and I realized it was a bit of a rant, so I decided to do the whole re-record again. So, I'm still, like I said, my plan is still to have this on Monday. So again, welcome to my reaction to it, and yes, discussion about Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. Now, how this is going to play out is simply this: since I already did a reaction to this, I'm going to do pretty much every review of everything, and do a lot of homework. That's another thing why I had to do this recording again. I do a little bit more homework because one of the things that's really bugging me is why characters like Chris, Jill, Leon, Ada wasn't in the wasn't in the last film, and that's the thing I want to go. So I'll try not to be a rant and try to get more discussions and so on and so forth. So guys, what can I say about this film? What Past Me said. Past Me actually liked it. No joke, no lie. Past Me actually liked this film. Upon doing my whole research on Resident Evil, the final chapter, matter of fact, the whole series in general, it does change my perspective a little bit on it. But for now, I will get in until we get to the end of this video. So guys, so the one thing that always mind boggles me when I look through all these Resident Evil movies, despite how much I felt about them, excuse me, they always made their money. And give me a second, I'm trying. There, this is not it. I just had it, but oh, here it is, right here in front of my face. But the crazy thing is, they would get a budget and they would make it back, and it's crazy to me. I just never understood. Like, wow. So here is their budget was $40 million, and they made back 312.2 million. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, somebody slap me in the face. But they made their money back, and that is bonkers bananas. What? I'm like, bonkers bananas. Okay, that's something new. But like when I may notice that I got the DVD sets for all the Resident Evil movies. And like I said, watching each one, then reading about each one all over and over again, like I said, it gave me a little bit more perspective of everything and how I pretty much feel about the whole series in general. Watched the special features on the DVD I had. I did not know Ruby Rose was actually in this film. Those who know Ruby Rose, excuse me, I think the first time I heard about it was from John Wick 3 Parabellum. Then of course she did Batwoman. Then she was part of the whole Arrowverse crisis event. So I was really shocked that she was in this movie. I was like, oh, okay, and like it made me in a sense enjoy it. But overall, I go back to, like I said, from the other films besides the first two, I didn't really enjoy this movie, knowing what I know now. So it's and the main reason for me being that is like it's such an incoherent in the series or in the movies in general, because Paul Douglas Anderson wanted to make Alice the full frontal. He wanted her to be the best. As I stated before, every action scene we've seen from video game aspects of the game, we got Alice is doing it, and like rightfully so. Like myself, I had a problem with that, because if you now, as remember in the beginning at the last film Retribution, we have Wesker, we had Wesker, Ada, Leon, Jill at Washington D.C., and they get ready to fight off these monsters and everything. But we get to the final chapter. There's no sign of Leon. There's no sign of Ada. There's no sign of Jill. We don't know what happened. We don't know what happened with Chris. Chris is not even mentioned in this whole entire movie. And so that's the one thing that really was bothering me, because I couldn't find out why they wasn't in this film. So as I did my homework and I looked through Wikipedia, anything and then so much and so on. Now when I looked at Wikipedia, they said they wasn't invited. Come to find out, characters like Leon, Ada, bruh, Leon, Ada, Jill, Chris, Capcom told Paul W.S. Anderson that, hey, you're not gonna kill off our characters just to boost your wife. I'm paraphrasing that though, but y'all pretty much get the gist of what I'm saying. They didn't want their classic character to be killed off so Alice can be the mainstay, the hero of it all. So pretty much that's why we didn't see them in the film. And the link, one of the links I gave to y'all. Matter of fact, when I found out about that was on Screen Rant, because Screen Rant is really more a reliable source. Even though Screen Rant is a reliable source, I feel like Spinoff kind of went more in depth with it. But I want to say this right quick when I read from Spinoff. And I also want to say this, that Paul W.S. Anderson never played the Resident Evil games until he played the third one. And so this is one of his comments on Spinoff. I finally knew what I wanted to do in my life. I wanted to tell a story in the video games, and I had the perfect opportunity. I will create characters and stories so compelling in the Resident Evil sequel that Capcom, the makers of Resident Evil games, of course, will have no option to adapt them into the games. I will shape Alice into the perfect video game protagonist. And the comic said this right here. I saw that what he was trying to do, and it was so obvious. Putting Jill in the second film, putting a Nemesis creature in the film. Sadly, he wouldn't be part of our world like that. Little Mermaid in that film, you know, Lady in the Water. But after what he did, after he never would have violated solely our world. Going back to what Anderson said here, with the next couple of games, came out, Alice was nowhere to be seen. So I decided to make my intentions a little clearer in the third film. I cast Ian Glenn, who played Dr. Isaacs, the man who does the PEGI rating voiceover in trailers. Cool. That is him. He does say the little trailer. Okay, I just realized that. I'm 90% sure a clear dog was to those in the video game know I swapped out characters for Jill for Claire. Also from the games without any story logic, to send them a message loud and clear that their characters were disposable and could be easily replace others. And that's the problem with Resident Evil, because here you are, you could have simply, again, I don't mind him chasing the characters too much. Look what I said about Spider-Man in the Sam Raimi trilogy. He made a small subtle adjustment where he gave Spider-Man organic weapons. It wasn't a big change, but it was, in a sense, kind of subtle, and because in a sense it worked. When you want your whole goal to be, you want your whole goal to just to change the character, just to make sure your wife to be in the video games. That's when you lose it. Again, Resident Evil made its money. It made its money, but in the long haul of this, you damage the legacy of it, because that's all it is. Resident Evil is only just a cash grab and a name. That's all it would ever be. And that's the thing that messed me up in the final chapter. You know, you could have had an amazing story. I would have felt better if Wesker would have killed Dr. Isaac just so he can take over the world, because Wesker is known for being power hungry. And the whole thing with Umbrella wanted to come into power, and so we're gonna burn the world, bring it back to a whole new providence. In a sense, I kind of see that from Resident Evil 5, but it was more compelling than that. It was more of a character-driven story. This wasn't a character-driven story. And like I said, and I feel like, I believe I said this in Retribution, I kind of felt like, if I did, I'm saying it now, I just felt like Alice was just on autopilot. It wasn't, her character really had no meaning, because when you make a character where it's based off a comic book, video game, or whatever, you want your character to relate. Henceforth, like I like Marvel stuff, Marvel comic books, you relate to that. You relate to some of these characters you can relate to. You can relate. A lot of people can relate to the characters from Resident Evil. For Chris, like these characters are relatable to a certain degree. Look what happened to Leon from Resident Evil 2, from Resident Evil 4. He went for this rookie cop to this hardened agent. He went for this hardened agent for the president. So like you saw what happened. You saw what happened to these characters, and I didn't get that. I did not get this from this film. And yes, I did enjoy the action. The action was really good, but you're just missing the whole aspect of what made these games great. As I read to you guys before, Anderson he had his own way for a game, and the comment said this in that link, and I'll tell you guys about. We said we gave him 6 films. That was a mistake, and like I feel like if Alice really wasn't the mainstay of this movie, I think this movie would have been pretty good. I mean, you probably have Alice in this movie, but without the characters that's driving them to stop like Wesker and all the other stuff, it's really incoherent and inconsistent. So pretty much, again, like I said, I'm not trying to really I'm not gonna go over too much of it, but pretty much the long card is the Red Queen comes back. We find out that Alice is a clone. We also find out that James Marcus, if I mentioned it, James Marcus is in this game, but like in a flashback. But James Marcus was the main bad guys in Resident Evil 0, and pretty much like his daughter had half ownership of Umbrella, along with Dr. Isaacs. So I just feel like instead of making Isaacs the main bad guy, you could have put Wesker back in there, because I feel like by you dumbing down these characters, you mess up the whole film. You mess up this whole series. I'm gonna say it again. It's okay to put a little aspect of your own story, but when you change the core of it, that's when you lose everything. That's when you lose everybody. And to hardcore fans like myself, and I am a hardcore Resident Evil fan, you lose us like this. We miss the whole core of everything. You could have added different characters, but then look, Ghost in the Shell, the live action movie, what made the film passable. It had the core elements. Was it the best adaptation to an anime manga? No, it really wasn't, but it kept the core. It kept the core what made the show, the manga, great. And that's what happened with Resident Evil. In a long haul, the Red Queen wanted Alice to pretty much get this cured so she can end the infections, pretty much save the world. And the only characters I said comes back is Wesker and Claire, classic characters, mind you. And what I will say about the one thing they really got about Claire in this movie in particular is the fact of the matter is Claire's love life is somewhat of a wreck, and it's sad, but it helped build her character. Where we thought Claire and Leon could have something, no, Claire ended up pretty much going with Ada, trying to be with Ada. That's really like a really real life cat and mouse thing going on there. If you ever play Resident Evil Code Veronica, which I know some of you have played, there's Steve Burnside and like Claire. He obviously had a crush on Claire. At one point, I feel like Claire towards the game kind of had feelings for him until he got transformed into a monster, and I believe Claire had to kill him. Then going to Revelations 2, Claire had a boyfriend named Doc. He ended up turning his back on him, and pretty much Claire killed him. I'm sorry, not Revelation 2, excuse me. I forgot the name of the organization Claire is with, but they're like little eco saviors, whatnot. And their whole goal is pretty much trying to do things, trying to save them, make the planet safe, all the other good stuff, whatnot, mind you. But he ended up turning his back on them. Then going back to Revelations, I said going back to the movie. God, dog, going back to the final chapter. The same thing happened. Like Claire got the same outfit that she had from Revelation 2, which I really like. I dig that. But again, Claire is just a side character. Claire is a side character, and that messed me up. It messed me up. He did all the characters like that. So pretty much, Dr. Isaac's dead. He got killed by his own clone. How ironic that was. And pretty much Alice smashed the little vial, and bam, the virus didn't kill her, but I don't know. Red Queen did something. It's weird because I think we go back to the underground laboratory like 3, possibly 2 times. I can't remember how many times they went back to this scenario. But one of the things when I reading off the spinoff talking about because again spinoff, the one thing was there wasn't supposed to be a 6th film, and this is why I kind of think the spinoff is a little bit reliable here because Mikami and Anderson both having a conversation. Anderson was saying, talking to Shinji Mikami, asking him like, why wasn't Alice in the game? You ain't gotta like make these incoherent movies, these inconsistencies that's happening in these movies, you know, this, that, and forward. Mikami was like, hey, I was gonna put her in there, but I was gonna give her death. I was gonna make her have a purpose. Again, this was supposed to happen, but he's like, he didn't want to do it because how much he butchered his characters. And even Anderson said, I put your characters in here, but our characters were so unrecognizable. We didn't know they was unrecognizable. Look what happened. Look at Jill. You know, you got the classic outfit on Jill. No, but look at Nemesis. Nemesis is not supposed to go after Alex. It's supposed to go after Jill. And look at Chris. It's just like the character wasn't really fleshed out like they should be as they made in the games. By Anderson wanted his whole agenda, which I'm going back to right quick. Like he pretty much telling Shinji Mikami like, hey, I'm going to make another film if you don't put Alice in the games. So this is what we're going to do. So pretty much what we're going to do is like, hey, I'm going to go back to the high, go out to Raccoon City, which the game never really goes out to Raccoon City unless you go to the reboots, or the remakes, whatnot. They never go back. They mention Raccoon City and further into the games, but going back there, they never go back there. And in the special feature, Paul said I always wanted to go back to Raccoon City, stuff like that. And Shinji's like, you did this already. So pretty much in the long run, if Alice was not in the next Resident Evil games, Anderson was going to make this 6th and final film. And Shinji was like, pretty much like, no, I'm not doing it. Then bam, we got the final chapter. But the one thing that I will say with Screen Rant and Spin was saying that Screen Rant said that Capcom didn't want to do this. So that made me believe that the spin-off is somewhat spot on with this. Silver lining is it, guys. There is a reboot in the works for the Resident Evil movie, and I believe there's also a Netflix series coming too. I know James Wan is definitely behind the reboot. I don't know if these both are the same things or anything like that, but so definitely the rumor mill is that they're definitely gonna follow the games. So that makes me happy, and Resident Evil deserves a whole lot more than this. But that pretty much wraps this up for this whole Resident Evil marathon. So what's coming up next is, guys, we do have the Sonic the Hedgehog movie coming, and I do want to do a reaction to that for that. Also, I do want to get to Mortal Kombat Annihilations, and then after that, the next series of video game movies I am going to react to is excuse me. It's the Tomb Raider series that want to pull several long weeks back. So that's going to be the next thing that I do. And guys, tell me in the comments below what movie you want, or not just movie, video games, comic books, mangas. What do you want me to do in the comments? Cause I do plan to do a manga reaction to real soon. I think it might be JoJo, because that's definitely one of my favorite mangas out there, along with Bleach as well. But I already talked about Bleach so many different times. But guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me. And you're going to see on the screen here called hashtag Meet Corey Kenshin. That's one of my goals for this year, to actually meet Corey as Kenshin. And I will meet this man. I know what's going to happen. I just can't wait for it. But anyways, please, I'm going to say it again, please, you guys stay random. And I'll see you all in the next video.
Dreams of my own, have been working from home.